Hello everyone and welcome back to Cyrus Webb Presents, or Conversations LA as we're calling it. I'm excited to welcome actor Eddie Davenport to our program today. We're going to talk to him not only about his journey as an actor, but the brand new show Bronx SIU. Stay tuned.
It's time to shine, so shine on. Ooh, shine on. It's time to shine. It's time to shine. Now's the moment you were created for. Can you feel it's right? Come on, let's go. You're in control. So tell me why you wanna.
And we are back with Cyrus Webb Presents, or Conversations LA. I'm excited you all can join us both for our television audience in Mississippi and, of course, our online audience joining us to YouTube. I'm excited to welcome Eddie Davenport to our program today. You've known him, of course, for acting. He has a brand new role in the show on UMC called Bronx SIU. We're going to talk to him not only about that role, but also what it's been like for him to already see the response to the show. Eddie, thank you so much for the time, man.
Absolutely, Cyrus. It's a pleasure to be here.
Well, look, okay, so let's talk Bronx SIU first. I mean, now that it's here, people will be able to watch it on UMC and Amazon Prime. How does it feel to see all the hard work kind of lead up to this?
It's very reassuring because it's like, especially when you get on a project like this where everybody's just scrambling to do everything they can to make the best project possible. You never really, especially when it comes to streaming services now, you never really know if it's gonna ever see the light of day.
Sure.
So for the fact that it got its 8 episodes and it's happening, it's like it's very exciting. It's very exciting.
I think it's a great correlation to what you've been able to do as an actor. I mean, it's one thing to have the idea of it, just like this show, but now you're doing it. Do you still have those wow moments, Eddie, when you kind of think, I said I wanted to do this and I'm actually doing it?
Absolutely. And especially with social media and stuff like that, where you post out on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, all these things that you're doing, and you get the overwhelming response that people are just like, oh my God, this is amazing. And then they share it, and you see all of the people that you grew up with and all the people that you went to acting class and everything with that are just so excited for you. So that it absolutely just puts you right back in your heart. It's just like, oh my God, like I'm living my dream. Like this is so amazing.
Right. So when did you know for you, Eddie? Because I think for our audience out there, when they kind of think about what their passion is and what it is they want to do, they kind of think about, okay, what is it I want to do? When did you know that acting was that thing?
You know what's funny too is like not a lot of people. I've heard this question get asked to a lot of people. A lot of people are like, I don't know. Like I don't know. For me, I played baseball and I wanted to be a professional baseball player. But when I got to college, it was kind of like, okay, is that really what's going to happen? So I was like, what else am I interested in? And for me, I always just grew up watching movies like Arnold Schwarzenegger and Mel Gibson and Eddie Murphy and all these guys. Like they were my escape.
Sure.
So I wanted to be in movies, to be like these guys. So for me, I was like, okay, I'm kind of interested in acting. Let's take some classes in college for that. And I auditioned for this play at St. Pete College called Actor's Nightmare by Christopher Nolan.
Wow.
And I was totally like lost in knowing the process of what to do as far as auditioning, which I guess they kind of took like, oh, this guy's perfect for this because this is so that character.
Right.
So I just kind of fell into that. But I booked it, and I remember being so nervous the night curtain was opening. And I remember like peeking out and seeing everybody sitting there, and I'm like freaking out, like my heart's thumping, and I'm just like, oh man, I don't know if I can do it. I'm already sweating, I haven't even walked out there. And I remember the stage manager, Dan, was just like, you're gonna be great. Like, you know exactly what you're doing, just take the first step. And that curtain opened, and it was my cue, and I took that first step, and ironically enough, like I'm in pajamas, and I'm like scratching my butt because I just woke up, and I walk out on stage, and people laugh. And when I heard them laugh for that first time, I was like, oh, and it was that moment that kind of just stopped for a second. I was like, oh, this is amazing. This is what I should be doing. Wow. So that's always stuck with me, and that was like 2001.
Wow.
And it stuck with me this entire time. So every time, I book a role and I'm on set and I get into the process and you start that scene, that camera's rolling, it just puts me back like back in 2001 when I was like 19 years old again, like
Right.
in this whole little realm of like, this is so amazing. But then you gotta contain it, especially with this character. It's kind of like, no, just sit there. You're very, it's like, it's hard to not get giddy for me.
Exactly. You said something that is such a great story. Thank you for sharing
Well,
that.
absolutely.
The first step, that is, I think, what stops so many people.
It does.
Because so many people don't take that first step. How did you get over the fear, though, as you kind of went along, of not only, of course, taking the first step, but not being afraid to do it?
Repetition. That's essentially exactly what I mean. Classes, acting classes, they help too, just to get you comfortable, but it's more, I think what it's not so much being in front of people, I think it's more that you need to show your vulnerability in front of people, and that's what a lot of people, that's what I know I had a hard time with, is I was like, man, I just have to literally open myself up and share myself, and it's like, and totally be okay with everyone seeing me, and I'm just like, ooh, that's rough to dive into those little areas, but with repetition and honestly, just, it even comes to me, and it's like, I take this everywhere I go, is if something scares you, do it. I mean, obviously, like, don't jump off a bridge,
Sure.
but it's like, if something scares you, like, for me, I can't sing at all, and all my friends love to do karaoke. So for me, I'm like, no, but if it scares you, do it, and it's not gonna hurt you, you're just gonna go up there and sing. It's like, what's it gonna hurt your ego? It's like, who cares?
Right.
And then you end up going up there, and you're terrible. But you have fun with it, and everybody's just like, yes, you're so horrible, and they love it. And you're just like, seriously, is that what I was fearing? Is because I knew I was terrible, but they love it. It's okay. Like, so I think it's repetition, and literally, if something scares you, face it head on, and just literally take that first step.
Wow, that's it. I think that's a great thing. For those who are just tuning in, you're watching Cyrus Webb Presents. I'm excited to welcome actor Eddie Davenport to our program today. We're talking to Eddie not only about the journey of acting, but also how he's been able to take that first step and continue along the journey, which brings us back to Bronx SIU. You were able to work with not only a talented cast with this. I got a chance to watch some of the episodes ahead of time, and what I think is so great is that there's so many stories within this story. Was that part of what attracted you to it?
It did. It was getting sucked into that whole world of like not just SIU, but then you also have different divisions within like internal affairs, So you get sucked into that Bronx SIU where it's literally, I feel like that's designed literally to be the gray area. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, you got a badge, but you kind of just do what needs to be done, kind of sort of a thing, But then when IA comes in, it's black and white, it's yes or no, it's right or wrong, like I don't care, So, and all the integral points of all of the underground stuff that goes on in New York and the Bronx and all these different rival gangs and all this, all these cases and murders and all this stuff that comes in there. Not to mention that each character has their own personal battles that they're trying to deal with as well.
Right.
And every actor on this is so great, and every actress, they just brought their own, that own challenge to themselves as far as trying to overcome what they have as characters, and then keep it in line with what their job is within that show as far as, the detective needs to do this, and like you need to get it done, no matter my own personal battles with this and this character and this character. And I love how it all meshes in perfectly with each other. And Mike Mangel and Dan Garcia, they wrote this, and it's like just the writing. I think the writing is great. It just allows everything to flow and tell that story perfectly.
Yeah. Glad you mentioned Mike. I had a chance to interview him for the radio side of what we have here at Conversations Live, and he was singing the praises of you guys. And being able to kind of bring this story to life. Part of the way you've been able to share this story, and it kind of goes to, taking that first step that we talked about, is social media. I had a great conversation with Shanti Lowry, as you know, also from the cast, and she was talking about the challenges that can come with social media and kind of being a part of that and sharing projects like this. What has that been like for you to see the response, though, from the audience about this show already, as well as your career?
It's been quite good. Like Bronx SIU's did a good job of like putting websites up on Facebook and getting their website up and going, and it's got behind the scenes pictures and everything like that. So it's like they did a really good job of getting that up and getting that information to us so that we can just go ahead and do our thing and pump it out there and all over all the platforms. But people, I don't know if it's, people kind of dig that grittiness of a show, you know what I mean? Like the realness of it, not so much just, oh, this is a show where if this, you know, if you fall out of a building onto the ground, you just get up and you dust it off. It's like, this is, you know, this is like that gritty, real cop show, you know, and I think people dig that. I remember when I was growing up, you remember NYPD Blue and all that stuff, right? How gritty, The Shield. Remember how gritty those shows were? And that's what's so great about this show. It brings that darkness, that grittiness, and that real life, you know, that feel to the show. And I dig that. And I think that helps it sell itself. Like people see the trailer and they're like, oh, okay, that's kind of how I expected it to be. I'm like, all right, I need to watch this. This is a documentary. And it's like, yeah.
But you know, it's funny you mention that, especially with your character being in internal affairs, because, you know, one thing I talked to Mike about was, of course, cop shows are popular, but the police are in the news a lot these days too. I mean, do you hope this show is kind of a conversation starter as well about the lives that these officers live and how it's not as always as easy as we may think it is when it comes to law enforcement?
Which is true. That's absolutely true. And I hope that it does shed some light on that, because it's like I watch stuff like it's like, with my character, I never really had to make those decisions because I'm the one who comes in and goes, oh, is that the decision you made? And I just ridicule him for it. Or, you know what I mean? Or just try to dive in and get the truth out of the matter. But the split decisions that these cops have to make in all of these crazy situations, that's just, I mean, it's beyond me, the way that they can make those decisions. And it's like that whole relationship when it's all changed over the last decade or two where, you know, now when you used to see a cop, you were just like, oh, don't do anything wrong. You're like, hey, officer. And now it's kind of like, there's that stigma now when we see a badge. We're kind of like, oh, and it's rough. So I'm hoping that, I don't know, maybe this will shed a little light. Maybe this will, I don't know, kind of help in any way it can, because it's like that's just something that this is something that's unfortunate. It needs to get better.
It does, and it starts with projects like this, I think, and that's the great thing about it being fiction, because it is the world that we're kind of living in today, and I think that's what makes it so real. Again, everyone, Eddie Davenport has been our guest. We've been talking with him not only about his journey as an actor, but the brand new show on UMC and Amazon Prime. It's called Bronx SIU, so make sure you are tuning in. 8 great episodes. You definitely don't want to miss the show. And Eddie, how can our audience stay connected with you?
I'm on Instagram, Eddie_Davenport. You can hit me up on Facebook or Twitter, Eddie_Davenport as well. And that's pretty much it. You know, come by, say hi, click in, send me a message, let me know if you're liking the show, or, you know, I don't know if you're going to like me on the show, but...
Anyway, follow it anyway.
Follow me anyway, just so you can give me a bunch of crap.
Right. Thank you so much for this.
Absolutely, Cyrus. I appreciate you having me.
And we thank you, our viewers, for tuning in to this edition of Cyrus Webb Presents.